I fucking love it. And what I also love is like Patrick comes with like his interns and there's students there and there's like fresh minds and there are people who are like learning. Like I'm obsessed with that. And I love to watch Patrick be a mentor because it's really special. It's like a special thing to get to see. And, like I said, to be in the lineage of great music videos would be amazing. To have like an iconic music video that you can say that you made one. Do you guys remember En Vogue giving him something he can feel? And they're all in like the outfits with like the freaking gloves on, the satin gloves, and they're like, oh my God. It's like stuff like that. It's just like, can I create something as good as an En Vogue video? We don't know. We're not sure.
En
TBD.
Vogue.
Most
En
likely,
Vogue.
we're looking for it.
TBD,
Patrick,
thank you, Doug.
I'm not going to let Patrick make himself look bad by telling us he doesn't know who En Vogue is.
Right, right on, ay, right on, right on, right on, ay, right on, ay, right on. Look, hey.
Welcome to Music Videos Never Die. I'm your host, Doug Klinger. If you're already a subscriber, then you know we've posted several articles in May. We wrote one called The Vivo Bubble, which maps the history of music videos on YouTube and how a licensing agreement shift caused a permanent collapse in views. We also posted Vimeo's Long Goodbye, which tells the story of how Vimeo went from a platform for filmmakers to a software for HR departments, and how all along it never turned a profit. We also posted our music video roundup for May 2025, listing the best and worst videos of the month. In that post, you'll find a new video for My Morning Jacket, Everyday Magic, directed by Amanda Kramer, in the Best of section. Amanda is probably most known for independent feature films, of which she's directed 7. Her most recent film, By Design, stars Juliette Lewis and premiered at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival. But if you only know Amanda's film work, then you're missing an essential part of her practice, because she's also a prolific music video director, having directed 15 music videos for Magdalena Bay last year, although 12 are currently unreleased. She doesn't view music videos as a means to an end. She views them as a chance to be a part of filmmaking history, a history that dates back to En Vogue and TLC and flows all the way to the current modern greats like Hiro, Murai, and Erin. She's not trying to network. She's not hedging. She's not pretending music videos are just a stepping stone to something else. She takes the form seriously while also laughing at how unserious the industry can be sometimes. And that's why I wanted her as the guest for the first episode back of this podcast. Not because she only makes great videos, which she does, but she's proof that you can choose this. Prove that some of the best filmmakers in the world are here because they want to be, not because they have to be. Joining her is cinematographer Patrick Jones, her longtime collaborator that has shot most of her movies and music videos. Patrick is very tall, which also comes up a lot in this episode. So after a year break, this is where we pick things back up with the podcast, with acclaimed director Amanda Kramer and award-winning DP Patrick Jones.
Right on, ay, right on,
Amanda, Patrick, thank you for joining us on this podcast. I think to start, I'm curious just where the two of you met.
I had wanted to meet Patrick because he had been suggested to me by another filmmaker, and I was looking for a DP, and I had interviewed like 4 or 5 DPs, and literally DPs are just like, there's just a like a brain rattling around in a skull. Like you can't even talk to them. You're like, what's your favorite movie? And they're like, dead silent. And you're like, you don't have a favorite movie? I liked what the last Star Trek looked like. What? Are you crazy? Get out of my apartment. It's kind of like that.
Right.
So I was looking for somebody with great taste. I had heard Patrick had really cool, interesting taste. And I was like, we're going to meet. And we were set to meet at Stories in Echo Park. And I was sitting with my boyfriend at the time, and we were waiting for Patrick. And just a really tall, weird guy walked in, and he was just being so weird in the aisles. And I was
being weird?
You were being a little weird. You were
Weird in like an
I was
endearing
nervous.
way, or
I was
weird in
nervous.
like
I was probably nervous.
Yeah, weird in like a beautiful, like a doe, like Bambi like
Yeah.
just kind of like looking around, but also like so many limbs, and I said
Yeah.
to my boyfriend, it can't be. It is, do you think it's this extremely tall guy? I don't know if I could work with someone that tall. I mean, this is like how like the
Yeah.
foreshadowing. I was like, I can't work with someone this tall.
I wonder if
It's so dwarfing.
I wonder if my tallness was part of my brand at that point or if that came later.
It is
It's
heavily part of your brand.
Yeah.
it is. Oh
Well,
my God.
Amanda, what you forgot is we did Zoom for like 2 hours before this
You
when I
didn't
was in
look
New
as
York.
tall,
You,
I
well,
don't
no, no,
think.
actually, I think it was before Zoom. This is 2017, so I think
Yeah, we were
it was
like
just a
chatting
phone
on the
call.
phone.
It was a phone call. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what could he possibly be? 5'11, He just blew my shit apart. And I was like, okay. And then he sat down and he was so charming. And
Hmm.
I was like talking about movies. He just immediately had like these gorgeous answers. And I thought, okay, here's the DP. This is a person who watches cinema. This is a lover of cinema.
And
And
this was for a
we've
movie.
been together. Yeah, we've been
It's a
together ever
movie.
since.
I think we shot the movie 2 months later, a month and a half later, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Which movie
quick.
is this?
It's called
Paris
Paris
Window.
Window. And it took, I think our second night of shooting was Patrick's birthday.
Hmm.
And I was like, and we sang happy birthday to him. I barely knew him. And I was like, this is so, I don't know what is appropriate. So we like got him cake and he was like, do not look at me. Do not perceive of me. Do not act like, I mean, he was so humble, which I hate,
I was
it's this
happy to
weird Sagittarius thing. And I was like,
I was
we're
happy
doing
to
the
be
whole,
celebrated. Yeah.
So Patrick,
Deep
yeah,
take
down
now
let's
inside.
he
like
is.
let's Jackie Brown this meeting and let's have you like do the retell the same thing beat for beat.
Well, there's like an image on all of Amanda's, like I think it's probably still there if you email her. It's like this image of her with bleach blonde hair, and she just is like I don't know, she just looks really hip in that picture. Um, and so I was like, oh yeah,
Love it.
this is a filmmaker. This is someone cool. So but when you're starting off, you sort of take projects to try something here or try something there. Whereas Amanda's were like, oh, this script is incredible. The script is incredible. Like, and then when I met Amanda, it was just like she just blew me away with her lovely personality.
And so how many
Now
things have you
everyone
shot?
hates us. Everyone's like, oh, Patrick and Amanda are like chit-chatting in the corner, because we have a thing. We got a love thing, as CC
Yeah.
Peniston would say. And now we're simpatico.
Who is everyone? When you say everyone hates you, you're like
Well,
your
not
friends
you,
and
Zach.
family, the other people in the
The
crew.
ADs on set or no?
The producers, the ADs, the PDs, all the
Well,
Ds.
because the thing is, Amanda and I can are very ambitious creatively, but then we're also equally pragmatic in sort of like, okay, let's throw that away and do this. And so like her and I can just sense the room and be like, okay, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to do this now.
But
There's
Patrick and I get into one
fight per movie.
stinker. We get into one blowout stinker per
And
movie.
I usually end up crying.
And everyone is terrified. Everyone's like, is this the day where Amanda and Patrick are gonna fucking blow up at each
During
other?
production. This happens
Hmm.
usually during production.
Just once.
This I don't think this has happened on music videos, has it?
No, because
Oh no, it's so short.
we go into those situations and I'm just like, we're here for joy, Patrick.
Yeah.
We're dancing, the music's on. Like we don't need to. I
I
will say
mean,
this though. Patrick has a move where he leans up against the wall. He like sort of folds his legs and leans up against the wall and he looks. And if you go and you try to ask him, how long is the setup going to be? When are the lights going to be up? While he's doing that,
it's like there's a Rube Goldberg experiment happening in my head, and it needs to like go all the way through, like and like mousetrap sort of, and
yeah.
it can't, you can't interrupt it.
So I'm
Um,
always like holding people back. I'm like, Patrick's doing his thing, just like because I have run afoul.
How professional is the relationship the two of you have? Do you guys keep it all business all the time?
Oh my
Or
God, we're obsessed with each other. Right, Patrick?
yeah,
He's not going to admit to it. He's like, fuck
yeah,
her.
the omission to
Fuck
that was how
her.
much she blushed when you said that.
No, Patrick and I are dear friends. I tell Patrick all the time, like the we occupy such a different space in the industry. Patrick is a guy for hire, and I say that with love and a spirit and energy, and he is lucky for that. That is a fortune to be a guy for hire. I'm not generally a guy for hire. It's my vision or no vision, which basically, and not coming from me, that's what the industry is asking of me. I don't get hired to do random movies or random TV shows. Like, people want my vision or they don't, which means like the hustle is just looks totally different. And so when you're me and you're having experiences at Rotterdam or Fantastic Fest or Fantasia or Sundance, someone invariably asks you about your DP and your relationship with them, and would you work with another DP, or maybe you get a new producer for a bigger project that costs more money, and they are like, what about your DP? Um, who do you want to shoot this? And my answer is always like, what the fuck do you want me to say, Roger Deakins? Fuck Roger Deakins. I don't fucking want Roger Deakins. That's some loser shit. Not him, but the idea that you just get bigger and then you just find the most fancy ballsack. I'm just like, I'm not into it. That is not how I feel. My relationship with Patrick is based on pure creative flow. It's based on like love and energy, communication, community, who he hires, who like he inspires me to hire, and a back and forth forever. So like this treadmill of like, we're working. Patrick is doing things for me for less money or for free. I'm asking him and stretching him, and we're working. And then one day, like, I get a golden ticket, and someone's like, we'll call, you know, Rodrigo. I'm like, I don't need you to. I'm not interested.
And
I
that,
want the person who has built the imagery with me. And so like our relationship is we're friends, of course, we're good
mhm.
friends, but it's so deep because I'm not like looking for my next DP ever. These are long conversations. These are career long
Yeah.
conversations. And I always say the next time I get a new DP is when Patrick is too cool and he quits and he only does lighting for hotels.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, I mean, that's very generous of you, Amanda, but I think that's also like it does create sort of the freedom when you work with a director with that kind of perspective, you make different kinds of choices because if you only have one opportunity to work with a director and you think they might move on to someone else right after you, then you're going to sort of like make different choices. Where with Amanda, it's like the choices are really about the project because like the choices are our choices. They're choices that we're making kind of in lockstep versus like, okay, I need to extract as much out of this project as possible because I know she's going to move on to someone else after me. And so like, I got to get my own stake in this or my own sort of like, it becomes less about her and more about sort of me and my work on the film or project.
In an attempt to try to make this, you guys have worked on 1,000 movies together. What is it about music videos that you find creatively interesting, or why do you work on them?
I mean, I like music videos because they're so like director driven and usually the director and the artist are like, you know, for the most part 100% aligned. And so you can just sort of like there's usually something that you're trying to execute, some sort of like thing that is the video, and then you can just go like really deep on that and you have a lot of freedom to sort of like explore in that space. Whereas like whether it's like movies are just like so much bigger of projects, and so you don't have as much like you have to make decisions that are like more strategic for like a 15-day or 20-day shoot, whereas a music video you can just like, okay, this can work, but it can only work for 2 hours or 3 hours, and then it's gonna all fall apart.
Amanda, we've started
Roberto.
working together on music videos more recently, and it seems like you have a real like hunger and energy for them that I don't always encounter. I feel like a lot of directors that I work with, sometimes they see music videos as like a means to an end. They're trying to work on music videos to find a voice, to develop a voice, and then quickly get out of them so that they can work on film and television or commercials if they're more money minded. What about you? That you are already a, movie maker, so what is drawing you to music videos, especially now?
Oh, I mean, I'm obsessed. I've been obsessed with music videos since like day one by watching MTV and VH1 since like my little eyes could flutter open and shut. I think that they're fucking fantastic. Some of the greatest directors of all time started out in music videos. Um, and there are music videos where like I remember them. I remember every second of them like better than I remember any film that I've ever loved. And like there are moments of them that I've just have always thought to be so compelling and alluring and attractive and um like I crave a sense of an ending. And my films do not give me that. My films go on and on and on and on. I'm calling Patrick and I'm like, we almost got the money. Oh, I have to call this actor. Da, 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 da. And it's like, it's pain. It's the kind of pain that I want to endure, but it is like it's an industry torture.
Yeah,
And there,
we
and
love
there,
like the video just can just like come up within a week and then you're doing it. You can go really deep,
yes,
and then a week later it's done, and then it's out on the internet a week after that, and it's like, wow,
yes.
that's like hitting me where I'm like wanting to soak in a little bit. Yeah,
And I'm like, I get obsessed with like all the things that Patrick tries when he's on a music video shoot that, like he said previously, they're not things we can usually try. I love when Patrick sends me a music video and he's been like rollerblading and holding the camera the whole time. And I'm like, you could fucking fall and like destroy everything. And he's like, whatever, it's like a few minutes, who cares? I mean, it's so exciting to me. And he'll try something like upside down, he'll try something da da da. And because we don't have the capacity really to storytell like that in filmmaking, like in the confines of the music video, we can be,
more
galactically
adventurous.
creative and
Yeah.
adventurous, which is so fun. And then, my least favorite thing is the music. The music is really difficult to take in, and sometimes the music is just bad, and you're like,
You mean
but
the
the
music that you use that you've done videos for, or the music that you when
I
you're
mean,
trying to write?
like across the board.
Music is
Like
No, I
bad.
mean
like
like across the
music today,
board.
music
Yeah,
today.
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
I
okay.
mean like
Generally speaking.
when like generally speaking, when like a music video comes in and they're like they give you the band and you're like, I'm gonna listen to that song until I'm
10,000
maddened
times.
by it. Like, no, 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 no. So I try to take the music videos where I'm like, I like the songs, I like the team, I appreciate what we're doing. Um, but music videos, for the most part, they aren't Beyonce videos. They aren't like the hit. It's like there's so much else that goes into it. And so you're hopeful that the musician is kind. You're hopeful they have interesting ideas, or at least they will empty their mind and allow your ideas to fill them, which is a point of contention for me. I'm always like, you don't really hire me to execute an idea. I'm not very good at that. Let's be honest. I am the one that has the ideas, which makes me like just like a little fascist. But it's like it's hard. I'm not good with clients. Patrick is like client man. He's client man. It's his height, his stature, I'm just like an angry little Jew. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. And it's just true. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, don't make me do that bad thing. That's bad. Um, so I'm selective. It's why I work with you, Doug. You've got great taste. It's like you have to be selective. But if I could just make music videos all the time, I would. It's candy.
It felt
It's
like you
fun.
were trying to like rush back from Sundance to do the My Morning Jacket video. You were like that one felt like an obligation and one
Yeah.
felt like
Yeah. Who wants to go to
Well, I mean,
Sundance?
Amanda just like always wants to be creating. So like, yeah,
Yeah. The celebration is so corny.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Festivals are like, ugh. But when you're on set, you got your gear on, you got your people, you're
It
making
does. I mean, look,
magic.
I'm like a music video, like, I'm music video's number one fan. And so, and not only the like art that comes out of it, but like the industry and the need for the industry and the need for like a health of it to be there. And yeah, I mean, I think that filmmakers that not just directors, but like people that work in music videos, it is like the most blue collar feeling of all of the filmmaking art forms. And it's like mostly people who are like trying to hustle to like make their month all the time and not like waiting around for money to come in for like a movie. And there is like a day-to-day element of it that feels like that. Like music video directors who people who start in music videos like and then try to move into film and television have like logged so many set hours compared to someone who like came from college, made a thesis that got into Tribeca or something, and then are trying to make a movie based on just that currency, And so I feel like it's really fun to see your passion for videos, Amanda, because you're already doing the film and television stuff that a lot of the directors that I work with kind of strive for. And so it's just, it's a lot of it's an energy that is sometimes hard to find. Music video directors can be kind of jaded, and so we haven't run into that the jadedness yet from you, Amanda. And so that's
Oh, I'm
great.
not jaded at all. I fucking love it. And what I also love is like Patrick comes with like his interns and there's students there and there's like fresh minds and there are people who are like learning. Like I'm obsessed with that. And I love to watch Patrick be a mentor because it's really special. It's like a special thing to
Mm.
get to see. And, like I said, to be in the lineage of great music videos would be amazing. To have like an iconic music video that you can say that you made one. Do you guys remember En Vogue giving him something he can feel? And they're all in like the outfits with like the freaking gloves on, the satin gloves, and they're like, oh my God. It's like stuff like that. It's just like, can I create something as good as an En Vogue video? We don't know. We're not sure.
En
DVD.
Vogue.
Most
En
likely,
Vogue.
we're looking for it.
DVD,
Patrick,
thank you, Doug.
I'm not going to let Patrick make himself look bad by telling us he doesn't know who En Vogue is, and so we're
I'm
gonna we're
Googling
gonna
it.
just push on from that, Patrick, for your own good. I'm not
No one
gonna
had to
allow
know
you to
that. No one
walk
had to
into
know
this
that.
trap. I'm not gonna let you do it, Patrick. You're insisting on it, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
give you an out here because you shouldn't, publicly. I consider myself YouTube era music videos
Mm.
mostly. I mean, I think that the
Oh, you
most
baby, you a baby.
well, not so much baby. It's just that's where I have
That's where
spent
you.
most of my brain and study. That's my area of expertise in terms of study. I am
You
40
were
years old, and
you
so
were a
I'm not
consumer
a
of videos as a kid though
yeah,
too,
I
like
mean,
the
I have
MTV era.
there are like the really iconic ones. The first music video that ever made me cry is TLC Waterfalls. Because just like the themes of that music video are so heavy, it was so cinematically done. I had heard the song on the radio already, and then I saw the video, and it like I didn't know what the song was about when I was 9 or whatever. And then I saw this video and I was like, oh, that's what it's about. That's what anything thing is. I was like homesick. So I'm probably a little older. First time homesick from school, probably like 12. And they played that video like every
Every
15
five
minutes at that
fucking
time.
minutes.
And it was like the
Yeah.
day it came out. So those, I have those, but I was brought back into music videos because in college I was like a huge Tim and Eric fan, and then Eric Wareheim did a lot of music videos in that era, and it was like, wow, Tim and Eric are like pushing the boundaries of film and television beyond anyone I've ever seen at the time. Like they're breaking the rules everywhere, but they're still like pushing creativity even further in this art form because they are even less rules. And so that's how I got kind of
Yeah.
like drawn back into the art form, like because music videos also like didn't exist anywhere for a while, like between MTV and HD video being on the internet.
Yeah.
I
So
used to
and
buy
so
music videos on VHS. I would buy like the Bjork collection of music videos on VHS, and I'd be like, I got my music videos. I used to also cassette record MTV for
Hmm.
hours and VH1 for hours, and I would like log all the videos. Like I was so committed.
And you were
I
in a
am
band.
not.
You were in a band too, Amanda.
Well, I am not a music video YouTube person. I am like strictly like on TV, like playing in the background of my entire childhood and teenagedom. So like those are the videos that I remember the most. People have to send me videos now to even like let me know that they're coming out. Like Patrick will be like, "Look at this new thing," and I get really excited because I don't know how you know that they're out. I don't like know how people are. Is it a thing everybody knows?
I
See,
mean,
this
there
is where
used to be
I'm.
the infrastructure used to exist a lot more to just like music video discovery before it was algorithm curated. There were just places that you could go. I mean, one of them was Vimeo, and then there,
You would just go on Vimeo and there would be new videos
yeah, and
like on the
and like
homepage.
Vimeo offshoots, there
Oh.
was like enough
Or
traffic that
video static.
yeah, Video Static,
Video static.
IMVDB, Promo News, like those are all
Yeah.
the like inside baseball websites. But then there's also like just like other. like Vimeo had a big enough community where there were these like sub art house websites that could emerge also, like Boom and Dazed and Colossal and
Why is there not like a streamer? Why is there not like an app or something that's just like the biggest collection of music videos and all
well, that's
that
what
there is
Vivo
that?
that's what Vivo was basically. Like when HD video emerged on the internet, like the labels who own all of that content were looking for a way to stream it online. Technically, Vivo is like a streaming service that is licensing their content to YouTube. And so that is like how that
Bop, 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 bop,
apparatus
bop.
existed
But then
initially.
it just
And so
got
now it's
pushed to
like
YouTube or what? It
everything
just
anytime you see a like music video on like a major label music video on YouTube, it's because of a direct like deal with the labels and YouTube for the,
and
they're not just
Vivo
like
or no?
uploading it like a random UGC creator, right? And
Yeah.
so they're and so the problem is that like the YouTube ad revenue is not on par with the like streaming per stream as like a Spotify or some of these other platforms. And the song already exists. So the video is like an additional cost on top of that. They have to do, and so that's why you're seeing this other stuff like emerge, like lyric videos or like stuff that's like a lot cheaper to produce because, so technically that stuff existed, and it's now like a little bit older model because now the model is more subscription and ad revenue on YouTube. And so there's just been a deprioritization of the music video content. So, but like that doesn't, I think that what's made them sustainable through that is the artistry part of it and the fact that musicians want to continue to make music videos because that's what stays beyond social media. And so I'm curious about
Because even like even younger and older artists are still, I mean, like My Morning Jacket is making videos still, and then also like there's teenage artists that are making videos still. So it's
yeah, I
like
mean, everybody still looks up to the same people, right?
yeah.
Like there
Yeah.
hasn't. So my question to Amanda is this, like, you know, because so much of I know most of the music videos they get posted online and that kind of thing, but one of the things that one of the things I love about you, Amanda, is that you aren't on social media, at least I'm aware of, and don't aren't like bought in to that what feels like a necessity sometimes to a lot of folks. I mean, it has made the job of a director rep a little bit more challenging because most directors are just on Instagram, and so like some folks feel like they can just like circumvent the need for a human because they already follow everybody on the internet. Like, why, is it? Tell me just a little bit about, why you are abstaining from social media currently.
Well, it's a mental health, mental awareness thing. I personally would be fine if I was on it. I don't feel like I'm triggered by it, but like, I don't have the fucking time. Not to be like too cool for everybody, but I'm at museums. Do you know what I'm talking about? I gotta go look at a museum. I can't just like look at somebody's feed. That's garbaggio. So like I gotta keep it real. I need to take in art and I need to push out art. I can't just also have like cats batting at yarn, even though that's fine. And I have no problem with people doing that. And I love when someone sitting next to me is like, humans are curating for me. I don't have an algorithm. I have like the people I love, which I think is the ultimate, right? That's my ultimate algorithm. I'm like,
Yeah.
Patrick, what's new in the music video? He's like, this, you'll like this. I don't have to scroll or anything. I'm just getting it from like the great minds. Patrick is a great mind. You got to take it from the
Yeah,
great minds.
totally.
Also, like the one day you spend on YouTube that sends you through all the rabbit holes is such a fun day. And then you go back to your life. I feel like with people have it on their phone and they're doing it through Instagram and doing it through
Mhm.
socials, their whole life is the rabbit hole.
Yes, yes. I mean, well, here's the thing. You said like you talked about like cat videos and stuff. I wish the internet was still like mostly cat videos like it used to be. Like
That
it's
would be
not
great.
that anymore. It's like AI slop. It's like, it's a bunch of garbage
I mean, like
algorithmically created content.
I had
Like,
such a depressing day the other day when the VO3 came out, the like new AI Google thing, and I sent it to
Crazy.
Amanda, and Amanda was like, "What the fuck is this? What is this? This exists now? This is it?" And like I was like, "Oh gosh,
it
this
looks
is
terrible though. It makes me really motion sick still.
sure."
Yeah, it's
Do you get
derpy
that
kind
too?
of. It's
Huh?
derpy. It has like a
Yeah,
little like
100%. I mean, the hallucinations are will never be fixed. And so I know I truly don't think
Just
so,
keep on
but I
saying
think
that.
filmmakers with like who can work within confines or can like, lean into the bad, I think like could potentially extract good
yeah,
art from the
yeah.
bad. You know what I mean? Like, intentionally bad, like bad looking stuff can still be used to make something good. But I mean, people who are trying to make it photo real or, you know what I mean, trying to
Sure.
like get one past us, it's never going to be able to do that. And so, at least not consistently enough to scale to be worth the investment. And so, no, it is mostly that. So, I mean, I think it is. So, you like, how did you, where did you, your career, track your career for like, for me, how did you get into filmmaking? How did you get where you are now, in the film and television
Was the
side?
first thing that you made the short films before we
Yeah,
met? Yeah.
I was a playwriting major. I wanted to be a great playwright. I wanted to be in theater. Um, you know, it's its own dying art for like many reasons that, don't need to be expounded on, but I truly like in the sense that I am a Luddite, proudly one. I engage in Luddite fascinations, and theater is still one of those. And I was in Los Angeles. I'm from here, and I was here before I was gonna move to New York for like a summer, and then my life just changed, and I ended up staying here. And you cannot be in theater here. So friends of mine were like, "You should turn your plays into screenplays," and I was like, "I don't want to make a movie," because the industry is just it's balls. It just is. There's just so many problems with it from floor to ceiling. But I just kept getting sort of pushed in that direction. It's unavoidable. It's actually inescapable. If you write in this city, you write for film and television. And like that is just the truth. And if you direct in this city, you direct for that. I do not have the know-how. I do not have the savvy to direct commercials. That was just never going to be my trajectory. So I just started writing things, and I wanted to make a short film, and I had a DP that like I don't think had any respect for me, and I don't think he thought that I knew anything. I know Patrick is gonna sweat. But before I met Patrick, I just like I didn't know anything, and I needed somebody to hold my hand. Sometimes we don't know, but we don't know. We know what we know, and we have an intrinsic value. But I didn't know what an aspect ratio was, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
I still like
embarrassing to
need to
ask.
Google it
Yeah, Google,
just to
Google,
make sure I'm
girl.
like using it right. It's like, is it a verb?
Google.
Yeah.
So, I went into short films being like, I won't be here for long. I don't even really know what any of this is. But I love actors and I love directing actors. And inevitably, I stayed because it is like theater. I want to be with the actors. And actually, Patrick is one of the only department heads. He's one of the only crew members that has ever made me have a love for making films. I love watching them, but the technology is just like it's not my strong suit. So like to meet Patrick and to have that collaborator and to have someone say film is a safe space for somebody who is mainly just a director of actors and a writer of, tone
Yeah,
poems.
no, but you're not giving yourself credit, because I think in every project that you come into with you know what you want visually. Like it's like
Sure.
there's a distinct visual goal, even if you feel most confident like just directing the actors or mostly directing, like if that's where you feel like your strongest suit, you still like have a really strong aesthetic, like reference or pull or sort of like perspective.
Thank you. Performance is the reason why I exist. I'm obsessed with performance on every level. So I make movies now so that I can get great performances. And when I'm lucky, I have great department heads who also help me make sort of cinematic landscapes that look really enchanting. And I aim for charisma and charm and indelible imagery. I aim to be iconic. And I hope that I can get there, but I'm also there mainly to pull great performances out of actors. It's like what
What's it?
I love
It's
doing.
interesting because like you don't. Now I'm asking the questions.
No, it's allowed.
l-
Find out.
Amanda, like directing actors who are like they're actors, and then there's directing artists who potentially aren't. They're not actors, you know. But because like you don't make documentaries. You don't like work with like quote unquote real people, non-actors, but like in music videos, they're performers, but they're not actors. And so have you noticed like a difference between directing in that sort
I
of
will
way?
say musicians, like, we're all good at what we do when we're good at what we do, but we do have the like pain sensation of thinking that we are good at more than we are good at. And I do think sometimes with musicians, they're like, I'm a brand, I'm an image, I know my vibe, I know what I'm wearing, I know how I'm gonna perform this, I know what I'm doing. And I have respect for that in absentia of reality. In concept, I'm like, yes, of course. But I don't know that they shouldn't be helped along. I don't actually feel like Madonna is a thing. I feel like the world gave Madonna Madonna, and Madonna was just a
Hmm.
genius who was able to pull that in and make performance of it. This is like what makes great pop stars, is what great makes great performing musicians. And every once in a while, and we have all worked together previous on something that was a band that's like, we know everything about our image, we know exactly how to do it. And sometimes you cannot fight that because that is so strong within them that it is
Yeah.
like you don't even, you say maybe this and they go, actually we were thinking puppet parrots in space, and you're like, oh, I don't even know how to give a note to that. That is not even within my realm. That is just deep within your core.
Yeah.
And so, of course, some musicians they are also those artists. But many, I'm like, let's come in, let's collaborate, let's think of something great together. You give me a little, I give you a little. The thing with an actor is, I need an actor to be comfortable in their body, but I don't need them to be comfortable in their hair and makeup and costume. They're performing a role. You don't want to ask a musician not to be themselves. You don't
Hmm.
want to put them off. They are the thing that made the thing. So you don't want them on their back heels. You want them to be like, oh, this is my favorite jacket. And I want it to come in my favorite jacket. And you're like, great, I hate the jacket. Would love to set the jacket on fire, but you know what? Wear it. You're going to do the thing that's great in the jacket. And they do. And if it's my movie, I'm like, I'm stripping you head to toe. You are a fleshy pulp. You know what I mean? And you should want to be that. That is your vocation. That is your job. Musicians, it is a reminder that they are a client as well, not just their record label, not just their managers. They too are like, I have my own perspective on myself, and not all of them want that perspective thrown into your blender as an artist. So it's a tightrope to walk. It's delicate, I think. And I'm not always delicate, but I do try with musicians to find a way to make them happy so that they can give me their best performance so that we can have the best video.
Because a music video and a movie are inherently like the goals of them are inherently different. I mean, I think that they both want to tell stories, but they're produced for different reasons. I mean, there is you know, the musician has their name front and center, on the
Hmm.
thing, and they're also, you know, sometimes there's a narrative component, but like they're being themselves, and they are the client. They are paying for this, in in one way or another, either by it subtracting from the money that they would otherwise get, or sometimes just like directly from their pocket, paying for grip trucks or whatever. And so, um,
And then for the most part, it's their career, not yours. And you do
Yeah.
have to think about that. You are lending them vision and you are lending them a level of artistry, but like in essence, like they go on and on and on. And so like it's so rare that you're going to find like a David Fincher or a Spike Jones, people who are like, I'm passing through toward an opulent career of image making. And so you can either get on my fucking bus or not. It's like most people are like, I'm one of your videos.
Mm.
Even though I'm a genius myself. Of course, many are. Like, I think Hiro Murai, and I mean, there are many, many, many people that I see their videos now, and I'm just like, oh, holy fucking shit. That is good. But it's like, you are giving them one video. They need to go maybe to the next person to get a video and on and on. And so you don't want to overstep. Hopefully they look at you like a creative genius and they want your opinion. But if they don't, I mean, that's life. I like when artists find me and they pick me because then they know what they're getting. I don't like bidding. Oh, bidding is the worst. I don't even know how you guys do it. It's so crushing. You're just like, here's my greatest idea forever for free. And everyone's just like, we went with the girl who does all the videos. And you're like, okay, what am I doing here? What is this? You know?
What is there not an equivalent in your mind in like the film and television space?
No, because in the film and television space, like you are the thing that ostensibly, like everybody lies and says they're looking for like original voices, right? Like, oh, we want original voices. We want like bold filmmakers. We want like storytellers. If I hear the word storyteller again,
Mhm. You just don't
I'm gonna
you
piss
think
on
it's a
someone.
buzzword. It's full there. It's not really.
Oh, I
Uh-huh.
absolutely. But it is what they believe. They're saying it because they believe that's what they want. It's just like they have a financial resistance with actual storytelling, right? Like there's a push and pull there. I believe in video making, it's like your proof is in your video making. So like you make 20 and you have proven that you can make another 20. That is sort of the economy of it. New voices are not there's not much opening for new voices, even if you make film, even if you make commercials. Like it is a sort of snake eating its own tail of like we're the same directors, we're the same DPs, we're the same PDs, we're the same. And I have respect for that in a way, but it is so tough to bid when you're like, if I'm just up against somebody who you've seen 8 of their videos, I might just lose on that fact alone.
Yeah.
And that's just it's a bummer.
It's hard to come up in music videos like without like having an artist to come up with. You know what I mean? Like you basically have to meet someone at a like
Yes.
you that storyline, is frequent where it's like an art, a director and a band have a creative collaboration and then
Right.
they elevate
They do.
together. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And so
And maybe they start early in their careers, and it's like, yeah, like they can grow over
it's
time.
harder for like a grown ass person to break
Yeah.
into music videos. That's for sure. But I mean, it's not impossible either. You know what I mean? I think that like, I mean, Amanda, in your particular case, like you developed your style in movies. You know what I mean? And so that's something that exists, and so people are now coming to you. But that is like a big portion
Yeah.
of the
I
jobs that are
guess,
being booked, like the director jobs that are being booked, is mostly based on prior work. The exercise of like treatment writing is is a small factor. There's no like one thing that hooks folks. But Patrick, is it the same for DPs? Like what do you feel like you are, music video directors will often complain that they're like losing the jobs to the same people time and time again, or,
mhm.
they're being pigeonholed and they're being kind of stuck getting a certain type of project. You know, as a DP, do you find the same thing?
I don't do as many videos these days as I used to. But so I think I've aged out of it a little bit, and maybe that's why I texted you the other day, being like, I just want to make a video because I just want to have like the freedom to explore something and just like shoot from my hip a little more.
You've sized out of it. You're too tall. You've hided out of it.
Yes, hide it out of it.
Do
You're
you?
out
Well,
of the frame.
Yeah.
maybe whether it's like a young director's game, like like just from an economy standpoint, like you have to be someone that can do everything, kind of, or know more cost effective sort of crew to be able to support bigger ideas.
What portion of your work, Patrick, is with directors you've worked with before versus with directors you have not worked with before?
I would say probably a two-thirds is repeats, and then probably a third is new people every year. Yeah. Mhm.
And we fight. I mean, if I see Carlos on the street, I'm gonna ship him, really. I
Right,
can't.
like Patrick's other main directors, you
Oh
guys have
yeah.
beef. They're the ops. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
No,
sure.
that's
I think pretty competitively about anybody who has my job, and anything I can use.
but
I will.
there are DPs that you just are like, oh, I know there's like five DPs that shoot all the cool videos. And you're just like, okay, and I wonder if they ever do commercials or they ever do other things, but it seems like they're doing videos a lot. But
But are you like
uh,
a hater about it?
about like when I get
Anything
jealous.
really? I'm like a
No,
big
Patrick's not
hater.
like that. Me
I'm
too.
I'm like
Oh
the
my
I
God.
I have to hold back. I have to anytime I put out opinions about music videos, they go through
I mean, I
uh
get bummed. I get bummed when I see a video that I wanted to shoot, and I'd be like, "Oh fuck!
but do you
Wish I
look
would have.
you
I
say,
wish I
look
would
at
have
that
done that."
fucking amateur hour
Yeah.
lighting. Look at that fucking garbage horizon line. I don't know words that DPs say, but I imagine those are some of
Horizon line is it.
them.
I like I don't have this jealousy is not like the sensation that I will get, but I will just be like, um, you know, well, if someone is phenomenal, I want them to get the job and I want to
Yeah,
see their video and I'm
totally.
like I want to see their shit and I'm like God, the world is cool. That is
Mhm.
cool. When someone is just like a hack and of which we are living in the land of hacks.
Yeah,
They are
totally.
just dotting our fucking plane at all times. And it's like, when you see that, yeah, I'm like, where's my podcast where I can go on and talk about all the fucking
I
hacks?
know that's why I made one. I think basically it's, I too feel the same way because I lose jobs a lot, right? You know what I mean? Like because you have to think about it this way. Like, I think that for a director who is like a music video director who is like pitching a lot as much as possible, trying to like make a significant portion of their rent off of music videos, I think that, that hypothetical director is probably booking 1 in 10 jobs, right?
Oh my
For every
gosh,
10
that's
they
so
pitch,
hard.
they book one, but you hope you're pitching 10 a month. You know what I mean? Or, and
Okay.
so that's how
Yeah.
you're doing that. Like, that's what, like, every director has, like, every director I work with, that's for sure, has the talent to be that. You know what I mean? And I believe the market, right? I'm trying to help them find that market, but like those markets are colonized by very small groups of people, and so and you're trying to divert people's attention. I would love like if and some of them are legitimately good, and I too feel have no problem like, but then for me, I'm like pitching sometimes two directors, sometimes three directors pitch
On the
on a
same
brief
video.
that I send out. So sometimes I every loss is three losses for me basically. And so I'm losing a job multiple times. So if I lose like if three amazing directors that I work with all put amazing directors forward, and then some hack director books it instead, of which there are so many, you know what I mean? Like it's a majority of that. Honestly, people who like didn't, you know, are being rewarded for abundance and not much else, essentially.
Guy's named Connor.
I
There's
mean,
always like 19 Connors, and they're
there-
always like,
it's
ugh.
funny because the name Aiden is the one that's really been knocking me over lately. It's just how many times, but they're basically the same name. And so I agree that those are, that is, but with that in mind, like it is um so it's easy to be, but if there are some good ones out there, and I think that they are like worth celebrating also. So I'm glad, despite Amanda not being on social media, that you have the community around you of people willing to share good art, with you. And
Yeah,
I want to talk a little bit about the video that just came out, My Morning Jacket, Everyday Magic. Um, this is a video the band sought you out, Amanda. Is that right?
that's true.
Yeah.
They wanted my magic.
They
They wanted
wanted
my
your
everyday
magic.
magic. Hmm.
I tell me about this idea. Tell me about what this concept. Where did this come from? How did it originate?
Actually, interestingly enough, they had seen what we had all done together previously, which was Magdalena Bay videos. And they found me and they were like, I love those videos. And I was like, well, I'm going to go back to Doug. Obviously, I'm going to go back to Patrick. Like, and we'll recreate that team with that spirit and that energy. And it was like the easiest slip and slide, like right into just making the thing. Um, all Jim wanted was fun. He was just like, I want to have fun. I want to laugh. I want to have fun. And I'm like, cool. I don't know what that is. And he was like, he literally said high fiving. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, high fiving. Sounds fun. He was like, we just want to seem like we're having a good time. It was an image breaker for them. And they wanted something like they wanted a new speed. Um,
When did dance become the thing that
what do you mean?
like when did it become a dance? Like,
Oh, well, I wanted to do like a loop, and I was
yeah.
like, this will be funny. We'll just do a loop. Um,
Oh,
uh,
because we thought about doing treadmills, I think, at one point, right?
yeah, we were just like, let's do something kind of, the last thing this band needs, and really the last thing many bands need is like that three narrative, A story, B story, C story that your editor cuts between, and you get like three different locations. Like she's outside a hotel, she's in a bed, she's on a date, and then we just cut between them. It's like, when did that become? I mean, it is just corpse-like out there. So when you can energize something, I mean, when people have a lot of money, they can do a lot of things. And when you're not given a lot of money, you have to think creatively and not just, sort of circle back to what is like the used and
Mhm.
refused ideology behind certain music videos. So I just wanted them to do a funny loop and they would just have more fun and more fun and more fun and more fun and more fun. And where that ended up was where we ended up. I stupidly often think that musicians will act and they mostly will not act. And I thought, okay, I'm going to get them to act a certain way over and over and over and over. And like, that was just not what our reality was going to be. And so you pivot, but you
And you
pivot with like,
give them a routine they
yeah,
can just do.
yes.
Yeah.
And if they do it poorly or they do it greatly, like it doesn't matter. It's their spirit, their thing. And we will manifest something out of it. And so I just wanted them to know, like, there's no such thing as fucking up. You miss the step, it's all part of it. It'll be funny. We'll have fun. High five. So it was just
It
like,
does
it was
feel
that.
like a music video version of a high five. I think what you
That's sweet.
obtained early on was and partially because they had come to you knowing what your work was, but that they like trusted you early on, right? And so and and you were very much like you had the ability to like whatever they wanted to do, you were going to be able to make a video out of that, because you had the kind of rest filled in. So
Mhm.
they could have done almost anything and it could have worked, you know what I mean? And it was mostly about what allowed them to tap into to themselves. And it's just like I don't know these guys very well, but their personalities are reading in this silly movement too. Like it is a genius uh device to really like have them come across. What Patrick, when shooting a video, because the last two videos that we've worked on as a group, the Mag Bay stuff and this is it's all green screen, and so what is beyond lighting it right, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
what is your how are you approaching a shoot like that?
I mean, I think we just sort of said, I think kind of similar to what Amanda just said, like the band wanted a certain experience. And so like with any of the stuff that I do with Amanda, she has a lot of compassion for actors or the band. And so we didn't want to do it like 10,000. I mean, it's five people in a band. So like, if you need to get a wide, medium, close up and inserts and all this, you could be there for 2 days shooting that. So I think we just sort of like said, okay, what can we do that just sort of like creates a fun experience for them? We shot them in a wide, and I think we shot them in singles as well. I mean, I don't even know if maybe we did one take of a close up, and it really was a minimal sort of amount of coverage, but the concept, didn't need a ton, and so I think, yeah, it was a pretty simple approach, and then just making sure that it looked, you know, even enough for VFX to kind of take over and create. I mean, they did most of the heavy lifting, it just sort of, we didn't shoot it in the best green screen stage, so just reverse engineering. Uh, Doug and I talked
Sorry.
a lot about that.
Uh,
um,
listen,
I mean, I've shot there before, but
effectively, right? You
yeah,
got the job done.
it's
Oh
effective.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. If it
and
were up
just
to me, it would be my house with a green sheet and
well,
I'm
yes,
holding a
a
flashlight
man
on
and I.
someone's face. So
Amanda and I have done plenty of videos like in her living room that were much smaller setups than this. This was at least like, but just wanting it to be like something that we can come in, shoot, and get out, and and have it be a fun experience for everyone involved. It was nice, and then yeah, like being able to I brought some USC students out to do the lighting, which was cool to kind of have them out. So.
Where do you meet these students? They just hit you up?
The Ian Jackson who ended up gaffing it, we went to the same high school, so he just finished school, and we met through like a high school film program when he came out to LA. So
cute.
That's
yeah,
actually is very wholesome.
yeah.
No room to make fun of you in this moment, which is unfortunate.
It's painful, right?
Yeah,
But
completely.
yeah, like I feel like especially on this, we talked to Matt who did the VFX. I mean, him and his team, and we were just like, okay, what's the best way to help you guys out and create like a really easy workflow for them, because they had so much, keying and compositing stuff to do. So it's just like that, you kind of reverse engineer the video into that a little bit. But maybe that's where I'm like too pragmatic and like, I guess I could have for every world like lit it a little bit differently, but maybe that would have been, I don't know. There's a certain like simplicity to just like having it be like one thing versus having to like change it all up every time. I don't know. Like giving that letting that giving that over to post to kind of deal with, and put their stamp on it.
And when the video came out, Amanda, since you're not on social media, what did you do to participate in the release? What was your release day like?
Well, I mean, all of my friends always want to know when something I make comes out. So it's like, ugh, my boyfriend like sends it to everybody and sends it to his mom, and everyone's just like, "Oh my God, we watched your video." And then they send it to their friends, and like it's a very 90s like grassroots way of doing it. People are just like sending each other videos. They're like, "Oh, Amanda worked on this thing." I'm constantly getting like screenshots from people who are getting DMs from people being like, "Oh my God, Amanda's new video is so great." And someone's like, "Oh, look what someone DM'd me." And I'm like, "That screen looks really hecky." And I really don't like looking at that, but like, thank you so much. But there's a
And
lot of,
Amanda's in the video too,
and I'm in the
I'm in the
and
video
Patrick's
too.
in it.
What?
But there's a sense I think that like, you know, social media that people put a lot of energy into that they curate their feed, they really care about it, like they will take care of that for me. I do not need to be the one that does that, but I
Yeah.
speak just
I
just
mean, yeah.
oodles of love. I'm gushing about everyone who worked on the project constantly, and more than anything I'm just trying to like get many of those people more jobs. I'm trying to get those people back in a room together with me. So I'm constantly telling everyone about it. It's just like
Yeah.
my voice and
Yeah, just not through the filter of like Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or any of
Yeah.
these people who own these tech platforms. It's I think we should all
yes.
go back to this way of life. But it was fun
But
to
when
see.
someone told me the other day that like a million people have seen like the Mag Bay video, I was like, what do you mean? I
Yeah,
mean, I
totally.
didn't even know that, which is like so
More than that, I think they've
sick.
got more millions than that. No, totally. It
Cool.
is crazy the
Cool.
how many internet users there are.
Well, yeah, 1 million views, 1,070,000 Meg
How
Day.
many are
Wow.
you, Pat?
Huh? How many are
Um,
me? Yeah.
Like
so I mean,
three.
to touch on just like a couple of the other like blog stories or newsletter articles that we put out last week and through the month of May. Well, Amanda, you were not ever a child of Vimeo or an active user of that platform, really, right? And you know, like upload your work there or anything like that.
I think my editor has uploaded a few things there, and like a few of my
Yeah.
shorts are there. And we've utilized them in ways that we can. And like when I was like 32, I was like, I hope I get short of the week or something, and I never did because
That's
nobody
fine.
ever wanted me because I'm weird.
That's
I'm
okay.
too cool and
It's
weird. I think in my spirit I'm more a Daily Motion kind of hoe, but I love Vimeo and I love when I can just like be on there kind of like getting things fed to me for like a little while, you
what are
know.
some of the what are some of the things that you find on Daily Motion?
Oh,
What's the
beyond.
Is this real? I can't tell if this is a bit or if you are
Oh no, no, no,
legit.
no, no. I am a legitimate. I wish
Hold
I
on.
wish all my work could be on
Current to
Daily
this
Motion.
day,
Today, I
what
was
do
on
you
Daily
watch on Daily
Motion.
Motion? What is the community on Daily Motion? What's the kind of content that you're finding there?
Doug, there's like music videos, there's episodes of TV shows you can't find anywhere. There's
This is
old
Totally.
basically
commercials, there's like cool shit.
It's
this is
predominantly
base.
pirated content,
Oh,
like
okay.
uploaded, ripped down, but for sure,
And you
totally.
know I'm
There's
a ripper. I'm a ripper all the way. I do not need that HD. 480
totally
is
right because
fine.
you're talking about
480
like
is fine.
recording MTV from your television onto a VHS tape. MTV versions of videos were often never the whole video. It would just like suddenly the chyron of the lower thirds is appearing in the middle of the video. And you're like, why are we seeing this? And suddenly Carson
Okay, but
Daly's back
Doug,
on screen.
what about the YouTube thing now where you're watching a music video and you want to see the last 30 seconds and then just like boxes show up of the
Oh, it's
next video?
horrible. Horrible.
Oh, and you
Artists hate that
lose the
shit too.
last.
So many artists ask to have like basically like 30 seconds of garbage at the end or just like a
Credits or
long
something.
take for 30 seconds. That stuff is horrible. So you're just ripping stuff down. No, totally. Do you upload to Dailymotion also or
No, I got to get on the other side of it too because,
totally?
I got to be a part of it. But Daily Motion's got all the shit that you want. You want to see some shit? It's there.
Okay, maybe we might start hosting this podcast on Dailymotion. I think that would be fine. I'm not interested in like finding an audience on the platform that I host my thing on, and so I'm fine that it could be anywhere. And so
That's where the true heads are. That's where the rippers are.
that's where the rippers are. No, totally. I want to start. Maybe it's time to start being a ripper. All the content that's out there, we get it on Dailymotion. It's gonna stay there because they don't. Who knows? They probably don't comply with
Does
DMCA.
it just come from TikTok, their stuff, or in
Their
Twitter,
stuff
or
is
does
probably
it?
coming from all over the internet. I mean, TikTok will allow you to download pretty easily, and so
Okay.
it's easy to do that. To be a content theft in that way. But there's difference. There's difference between content theft and preservation. And what's happening on Dailymotion to me reads as preservation. It's not like somebody.
Yes.
It's not somebody who is like seeing a dumb joke on TikTok and recreating it on YouTube Shorts to monetize somebody else's joke and beat for beat stealing somebody's humor, which was just their own dumb face, or any of the other versions of just like putting themselves in the corner, like pointing up as
Oh
some
yeah,
other.
like let's say you're like, okay, you have this like weird memory and it's like caught like right here in your brain and you're like it's a moment from a Parker Lewis Can't Lose episode. When I kind of remember like they had swatches and you can only see pieces of it. Listen, someone on Daily Motion
It's up there. No,
has had the
100%.
same dream. And so you're not taking money away from Parker Lewis Can't Lose. It's not possible. They've gotten all the money. They're all fine. This is about
100%.
the 20 seconds that you are looking for. And somebody on the universe is like, they're on the universe. They're like, remember this thing? And you're like, oh, yes. And
This is
is how the internet works for me.
That
I'm
is
making
exactly.
connections.
I want to find this internet again and get the other slop internet away from us.
Right on, right, right, right.